Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace, peace, peace on the streets. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Alifullah. And today we're going to decipher and decipher the 9 forces which balances our equilibrium. Specifically, we're going to go into some of our story. One of the problems that we are suffering with in the Nation of Islam is that the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies, are in a position because of their finances and because of the present state of technology. They're able to rewrite our story into his story. And the 85%, the mentally dead, they're so easily to mislead and to deceive and to use technology is technology. Did they use technology or technology to confuse and mislead the masses, if you will? So we, the poor, the 5%ers, the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, we're in a constant universal struggle, psychologically, politically, financially, judicially, you name it. But it's even a technical war. Let me simplify this for you. If I made a video, I'm just using this hypothetically. If I made a video right now today, for example, say I had a video that was, say, 30 minutes long of a real life shooting of a famous person, white, black, it could be political, it could be a hip hop artist, it could be whatever. That negative information going into the algorithm or the matrix of the internet, manifesting itself through Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case is, social media in general, that negative vibration, that negative image, that negative idea is quickly attracted by the 85%. So a lot of people are tuning in on that. But if I was to make a video about respecting the black woman, protecting the elders, helping the poor, doing for self, eating better food, saving money, whatever, black unity, even though the message may be true or positive, the 85% psychosis is designed where they won't be as attracted to that as they would be to the negative vibration. So this is all because we are subconsciously worshiping a mystery God. And since we are worshiping a mystery God by default, subconsciously, if the devil did not say it, if the devil is not teaching it, we subconsciously and consciously reject it. So when we see things like Message to the Black Man in America, page number 9, wherein the messenger says this, and I quote him: "The belief in God other than man, a spirit, Allah has taught me goes back into the millions of years, long before Yaqub, the father of the devils. Because the knowledge of God was kept as a secret from the public. This is the first time that it has ever been revealed. And we, the poor, rejected, and despised people, are blessed to be the first of all the people of earth to receive the secret knowledge of God." This is the key. This is the struggle. This is what I live, build, kill, and die for. Trying to wake you up to the knowledge of yourself. Not the knowledge of me, not the knowledge of Master Muhammad, the mother plane, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Salis Muhammad, father-in-law, your lessons, Pan-Africanism, opening the school, eating vegetables. None of that, to me, is more important than you knowing you. That's the whole problem universal. That's the whole problem on the whole planet Earth right now, is that we know about everyone and everything. We seek information about everyone and everything except ourselves. And as a result, we're easy to lead into the wrong direction. Now, I mean, it's like in this day and time, you can spend $500, and with 500 dead present, 500 physical dollars. If I took a debit card or a credit card, I could go online and pay $20, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, or $10,000, and in 24 hours, my video views will go from 1 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to 1,000,000. You could get 1,000,000,000 if you pay the money. It's like payola in hip hop. Now, I mean, you'd be like, well, this guy can rap. This guy can't rap, but his song is the #1 song. His song getting all the spins on the radio. Not because of some special talent he or she possesses, but the record label are able to go to the DJs and break them off. Like, look, take this 5,000, take these 5 stacks under the table. I need you to play my man song. They be like, 5 stacks? I play that joint every hour. I mean, it's like you sign with the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor, and you're like, you got a rap over here that's a black independent rap label, and you'd be like, oh, he can't rap. He only got a couple of views on that joint. Because the people over here is on the tip like, yo, take this money. You play what we tell you to play. So they consciously and intentionally sabotage. Listen to what I'm saying. You're going to find all this out later on down. It ain't going to take a long, I would say probably you'll learn about this probably in like 3 to 5 years. Now, I mean, but the short version is the devil intentionally suppresses information. You do not have a freedom of press. You do not have the right of peaceful assembly. You do not have freedom of speech. There are wealthy forces that do not want certain information reaching you because they know that that kind of information will liberate you from their psychological slavery. Now, I mean, and this is why Master Fard Muhammad teaches us about the importance of actual facts. Now, these 10% are so powerful. They have even deceived many of the gods. I ain't gonna say some of them. I'm gonna be dominant with it. The majority of the gods are deceived by the minority devils. It's true. Sad to say. I remember this was like what? I think it was around 1995. I ordered this book right here. I got this book. I think it was like, it was around 1995, 94, 95, somewhere around there. And it's by a brother known as Prince A. Cuber from the Nation of Gods and Earth. And at that time, in that stage of our struggle for freedom, justice, and equality, I never was a member of the Nation of Gods and Earth in the traditional sense. I always was just an FOI. At that time, I was the minister of the Nation of Islam, now I mean, at Huntington, Pennsylvania at the time. But I always been one to give credit where credit is due and to appreciate any brother or sister, black or white, rich or poor, that contributed to the liberation of our people's mind. Now, I mean, anybody that taught the truth. Now, I mean, the message told us, we should bear witness to the truth, even if it's from an old white man on a farm in overalls chewing tobacco. If he speaks the truth, we should bear witness to that truth. That don't mean we love the devil because the devil gives us nothing. That don't mean we believe everything else that they say. But if they drop a jewel, hey, you'd be a fool not to dig for that and examine and polish that jewel, put it to its proper use. So, at this time in 95, I didn't really understand a lot of the internal fighting because I never was a member of the Nation of Gods and Earths like that. But I do remember Yakub's Law of Divide and Conquer being real active in 1995 amongst the Gods and Earths. And, I was really wanting to mind my business, you know what I mean? And my thing is like, I would support anyone teaching good. So I would support the school, G. Colleen, Prince Cuba, whatever. Anybody doing, especially like back in the day, those of you that's old enough may remember them old newsletters, The Son of Man, you know what I mean? And many of you probably remember my newsletters. We used to put out the Final Calls Islam, the Army of Allahs, the Reality, you name it. You know what I mean? But we used to push, this is before the internet for the youngsters. Before the internet, we did stuff manually. You know what I mean? I remember taking photographs. I'm in Supermax under the holes. You know what I mean? And literally having to take stuff like jelly, high fructose corn, put the jelly on the pictures. And I would take a paper clip or something and cut out words from a newspaper. It may on the front page of the newspaper, it may say something like America, democracy. I'll cut out the word America and put some jelly on it, put that in the middle of the word, and then I may see in a magazine, a Christian magazine, it may have something called Hellfire. And I'll cut out the word hell and glue the word hell underneath it. So to say on top America and at the bottom hell. And I'll type up my article titled American Hell by Brother Minister Ali. And from the underground, I would send that out, to the secretary, and the secretary make copies, and we'll send that to different brothers and sisters in different prisons all over the United States of America, and they would make copies, and we would have subscribers, and people would order other books and back orders of literature. And that's how we used to push the program. Straight from the underground. But in that journey, one of the things that I appreciated was Prince Cuba, in my humble opinion. Now I don't know him personally. I never physically met the man. I seen pictures of him, read articles about him, good and bad, but as far as from what I have personally seen from the information that he shared, this right here is just tip of an iceberg. This is one of the things he wrote. I remember I got it somewhere. I don't know where I did with it. I ain't seen it in probably like 20 something years, whatever, but he wrote another book called, I'm paraphrasing it right now, My Struggle for Freedom, Justice, and Equality, something of that nature there. But, just reading what he had to say, reading between the lines, I could tell that COINTELPRO, the 10%, the FBI, I know, was like trying to shut him down. And you had, with the school, you had legitimate grievances. I understood both sides. I could look at both sides. Sir, it's like the father law for the Nation of Gods and Earths is like akin to, say, Master Muhammad to the Nation of Islam. Somebody come at Master Muhammad, I'm defending Master Muhammad. So I understood the school position too. And what I was focused on and hoping on and praying within and working without for was, let's just teach the youth. Let's make sure we get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to the 85%. Let's try to save as many mentally dead as we practically can. But the thing that I appreciated about Prince Cuba was his scholarship. Now, I mean, and like I said, I didn't agree with everything. Like when he published this book, when I ordered this book, when I received it, I forgot where I ordered it from. In fact, I know where this came. This book came from this is, I'm gonna give y'all a little history lesson right here. This particular book was published in 1990 from the United States of America, United Brothers, United Sisters Communication Systems, TNNC, at P.O. Box 5368, Newport News, Virginia. Okay, zip code 23607. I don't think they still there today. They may have moved or whatever the case may be. The reason I was able to order this book back then, I'm gonna give you the short version. I had wrote a book back in 1984 called Elaboration of a Lost Lessons. And basically it was a treatise on lost found miles lesson number 1, lost found miles lesson number 2, and the 99 actual facts. And I self-published the book, and the book caught on like wildfire. It just spread everywhere. Now, I mean, people was like, not where it put money all in my pockets like that, but the information was in China, Russia, Africa, Saudi Arabia. Now, I mean, that information was, I got letters of Orthodox Muslims vowing to burn black candles, and the candle wasn't going to go out until they killed me. Now, I mean, and I also got a lot of love for the book. I mean, but the book was basically, my defense of Master Muhammad the Messenger, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. Now, I mean, whom I served then, and as to this very day in 2023, I still serve. My life, my death, and sacrifice is all for Allah God, who came to person Master Muhammad. And so back then it was like mixtapes, if you will. Now, I mean, and it's like early hip hop. Rappers really wasn't making money. Early artists really wasn't making money. I mean, it was more about being conscious and pushing the program and helping the people. We was real sincere. I know I was real sincere with that. And ultimately, the literature made its rounds, and brothers would take it, reprint it on their own, sell it at that vendor, to sell it at parliaments, and the money it cost them to print it up. Back then they had like Kinko's and Office Max, Staples, whatever. So you had to pay per page. Front and back was a little cheaper. You had to make the covers. You had plastic bindings, perfect bounds, saddle stitching. You had all kind of ways to self-publish books back then. But I was doing that, and I was getting robbed. Like I would say probably like 80% of the money was going to other people. But ultimately it reached the publishers at United Brothers and Sisters. So I got in touch with I think the brother's name Khalifa, something like that. There, brother Khalifa, good brother. I mean, I don't have nothing negative to say with him, but let's say we had a misunderstanding, if you will. But he had my book in his newspaper selling my book, but I wasn't getting the money. It's my brother. We had our little friction point, but we was able to get together behind the scenes and work it out. Now, I mean, like Public Enemy say back in the day, brother's going to work it out. So we worked it out. Now, I mean, it was more like we're not going to stop the struggle over the devil's money. He was sincere. I was sincere. We communicating. Now, I mean, and because of my physical situation, I couldn't manage my money the way I wanted to manage my money. It's like a rapper coming out with a rap song, and you see your song on the Billboard charts. You're like, yo, where's my money at? I mean, but through that process, I came in contact with books, other books he was selling like 100 books, I would say, if not more. And I mean, Melanin, Afrocentricity, The Nation of Islam, Farrakhan, Solace, 5%ers, whatever. And I mean, so I met a lot of good brothers and sisters through him. So I don't have nothing but love and respect for their contributions in the struggle for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. But I ordered this book, Prince A. Cuba. And when I ordered this book, when I received it physically, I was such a technical type of scientist with the messenger teachings that I had an issue with the picture of Master Fard Muhammad. I still had this issue to this day. Like, to this day, I have a problem. I have a fear that the same way the black Jesus turned into all these iconographs or these fake Jesuses, to my personal knowledge, I mean, what I've physically seen just over like the past, it's been over 40 years now, and I've been teaching these teachings. For over 40 years, I've seen at least every 5 to 10 years, a fake picture of Master Fard Muhammad pop up. I've seen fake literature of Messenger Elijah Muhammad pop up like every 3 years, not me. And the reason why I know a lot of it was not intentionally fake, I might have wrote an essay, I might have did an article that wasn't even a book. I might have typed something up and signed my name to it, and I'll see the literature that I wrote 8 years ago, and I'll go somewhere else to another city, and the brother would be like, "Oh, you ever hear this joint called such?" I'm like, "Nah, what's that?" And then he showed it to me. I'm like, "This is my literature. I wrote this." He's like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "Hold up." And I'll go in my trunk and dig out some old literature and show him. But the difference is somebody took my old literature, retyped it, and instead of having my name on it, like in my literature, I might have quoted Messenger Elijah Muhammad. They'll take the messenger quote out, take the messenger name out, and put it where it's by Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah. Know what I mean? And that was like upsetting and dangerous to me, because now it's like, here we go with this organized religious nonsense. Know what I mean? And that was my feelings regarding these altered photos of Master Fard. Like, to you, it may not be that important, but this picture of Master Fard Muhammad, you know how big his sideburns is? Look, in fact, look how big his nose is. He looked like a soul brother from back in the the part is gone. The part closed up, so it's more like an afro or something. You know what I mean? Trying to make Master Fard Muhammad look more black, if you will. Master Fard Muhammad didn't look black. You know what I mean? He's a half original man. That's an intentional thing with his father and his mother and the messenger teachings. You know what I mean? And it's so bad that within the last I would say about the last 3 months, on my Facebook page, I just came across it by chance, if you will. But they basically was saying like the real picture they had a picture of the real Master Fard Muhammad photo, saying that photo was the fake Master Fard Muhammad. So what I simply did was, I was like, you can't come on. Now, I can't let that type of lying technology spread on. Like, on my page, I got 5,000 people in there. I don't want that misinformation going amongst people and they spreading it. So what I did, I said, okay, I ain't trying to slander nobody, attack nobody, get into no beefs and all that. But the messenger teachings is the messenger teachings. So what I simply did, I just took the photographs of Messenger Elijah Muhammad himself, and was like, okay, well, this is the picture Master Fard Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, had in his house. This is the photograph of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his living room. This is the photograph of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fard Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his son Imam Warfdeen Muhammad. It's all the exact same photo. I mean, this is the picture of Master Fard Muhammad in the 1930s in the final call of Islam. I mean, now who this guy is that y'all talking about in 1980, 1990, the 70s, in the year 2022 and all this other stuff. I'm like, I mean, we'll let the historians deal with all that kind of stuff. I mean, and in that type of tenure and struggle for the truth, I used to have some highly ranked ministers that I used to communicate with. Now, I mean, I used to literally write and communicate with like Imam Isa, Salis Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, G. Khalim, you name it. Now, I mean, and it was always out of respect. I always took the position of the student, always took the position of respect, but I always was crystal clear that I never followed any of them. I never followed the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Salis, the 5%ers, the Pan-Africans, none of them. Now, I mean, I always, anybody that know me tell you that for over 40 years, I always spiritually, politically, financially, militarily defended and supported all of them because I was always about the unity of our people. That was always been my thing. Now, I mean, and it's like that to this very day. Now, I mean, and but back then, brothers was actually writing me saying stuff like, when I published Elaboration of Allah's Lesson, they was like, where did you get 99 actual facts from? And I explained to them, well, I came into this when I was 17 years old. As a teenager, the FOI that I was around already had 99 actual facts typed up, handwritten, whatever. Now, I mean, little minor differences here and there, like typing errors, whatever. A word might be spelled, the number might be off, whatever. But they had 99 actual facts by Prophet W.D. Farr. I have it over here somewhere right now to this very day. But these the actual factors, for example. This is a neat copy. Back then, it used to be way sloppier than this, but it's the exact same copy. Now, this copy, I actually physically typed this copy myself. I would say probably like that's a good question. When was this about? I would say this is the age of computers. So I remember going to a computers class. I think I was taking computer classes like I would say late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. Now, I mean, and the white teacher was teaching. I loved the class, loved learning. In fact, I learned so much in the class. When I wound up writing a FYMGT self-help computer book. I got that somewhere. I mean, people back in the day might even have copies somewhere. But one of the things that I remember was the computer had, them old computers had a lot of functions that was so easy to use and so practical that I like that format better than a lot of this new stuff. I mean, like one of the things I remember is like you could type a lesson up. Say you type a lesson word for word. The computer will give you how many words is in that lesson. Then you could push a button. It's different options. Now, I mean, it'd be like, say you wanted the fruit lesson, how would it be worded if it was done as a scientific paper? It would convert certain words into, like Malcolm X used to say, instead of using nickel and dime words, they'd make 50-cent words. Now, I mean, big words. Now, I mean, it'd use like Lost Found Miles in lesson number 1, Lost Found Miles in lesson number 2. A lot of people look at the language of it because the messenger wasn't no perfect English speaker. So in Lost Found Miles in lesson number 2, the language is not, but the thing is that the computer tell you there's nothing wrong with Lost Found Miles in lesson number 2 from February 20th, 1934. And it explained to me something I never heard of. It said this is called colloquial language. So I was like, colloquial language. So you could press the button and it'll show you the messengers word for word. It's colloquial language, like it's not formal language. But at the same time, you could be like, okay, what is the purpose? They'd be like, oh, well, technically, this colon should be a semicolon. It should be a comma here. It should be this word shouldn't even be there. This is an adjective. This should be the verb. This should be. So it'll show you if you wanted to make it perfect English. But my thing was subconsciously, I stick with the old-fashioned original teachings. How need to live. Leave my teachings as it is. Know what I mean? So when I would see college people doing that critiques of the nation lessons and thing, I understood where they was coming from. I just disagree with that premise, because once we get into that, I know 100, 1,000 years down the line, the original going to be lost. So my thing is like, let's do our dissertations. Let's do our analyzations that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. He said, bro, you know what I mean? You put in that fancy language that Allah bless you. Now, I mean, Moses wasn't Aaron. I mean, he wasn't eloquent in speech. So, he's not trying to be a perfect book writer or author, you know what I mean, a Pulitzer winner and stuff. That's not the purpose of Message to the Black Man. But you will not find a holy book on this planet, in this universe, greater than these elementary books directly from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? So I stuck with the messenger's message to help guide me through this age of mess. And thoughts of peace be upon my beloved aunt, my mother's oldest sister, my aunt Ola Hassan, who's physically no longer with me, but she lives in my heart forever, in my DNA, and in my subconscious thoughts. She, out of love and concern for her nephew, she seen that we was headed down the wrong path. See, I'm from Philadelphia, specifically from North Philadelphia. So the Nation of Islam in North Philly, the culture is real rich with like the Nation of Islam, but it's like the Black Mafia version of the Nation of Islam. So the people I grew up under, the people I knew, they was absolutely sincere. But you know what I mean, we was like pro Brother Minister Jeremiah Shabazz and Captain Clarence. Now I mean, Imam Shamsuddin, as he's known. These were my heroes. Now I mean, these were my scholars. These were the people whose feet I would sit down at. Now I mean, like Bigfoot, Jabbar, Nudi Mims. I would sit in his cell physically with him, cut his hair. I mean, in the shower room, I'm cutting his hair with razors and combs and all that kind of. So these are people that I knew, I talked to like a man talked to his friend. I mean, and they had old, original, personal photos and letters and literature. Like you could come in that cell, they'll have on the wall a picture of them and Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, like they tell you stuff like, yeah, man, I mean, we did this, that, and the other. I ran to Chicago. The messenger put me in this house, and now I mean, so it's like they're giving me firsthand accounts on the good, bad, and the ugly. Now I mean, but what was real common amongst us was the 99 actual facts. Like I knew it in my head. It was like number one, 230 quintillion, 640 quadrillion miles comes of our universe. When I was a teenager, I used to rap. I mean, and I made a rap about the actual facts, and I can't remember it to this day, but it's probably in the old news lesson. But I do remember using my fingers with the numbers like 238640 at 15 ciphers as far as you go. Now I mean, but that's 203. The reason I was rapping like that, 238640 at 15 ciphers as far as you go. That rap broke down the whole 99 actual facts. So it was such a common thing to me as a teenager, I made it into a rap song. So it was shocking to me a few years later when I heard that other FOIs didn't believe in the 99 actual facts. So I was like confused. Like, what you mean y'all? No, we don't study the 99 actual facts. It's like, why y'all study? Like, nah, bro. See that ain't no. It's only 20 actual facts. So I was confused. What do you mean 20 actual facts? I got the 20 actual facts too. We got actual facts and 99 actual facts. And that was a big confusion in the ranks back in the day, you know, because you had different camps, if you will. At that time, you had like 13 different nations of Islam. It's hard for people to really grasp that. But you had like Minister Jeremiah Shabazz in Philly. You had the messenger brother Jan Muhammad, the messenger other brother John Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, Imam Worthy Muhammad, Salas Muhammad, brother Minister Avery Muhammad, brother Minister Levi Kareem. You just had different branches that was all struggling to preserve the life-giving teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Supreme Angels basically doing the exact same thing. And, I remember a minister writing me, asking, like, where did you get the 99 from? And I basically was like, listen, before I came into this, the FOI already had 99 extra. It has nothing to do with me. Like my squad leader, my lieutenants, my captains, Captain Sherman, 2X, brother Wallace X, brother Jerome X, and now all of them already had 99 actual facts. My cousin, my cousin Kevin X Sanders, they all already had 99 actual facts when I'm still running around with North Philly on my t-shirts. I'm still like smoking my little weed, popping V's, drinking hot tea. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I ain't even on that level at the time, so I ain't really paying too much attention. But when I got into the teachings, it was something about these teachers that was just like, I don't know what it was. It was like, when I got it, just like, it happened so fast psychologically that it scared a lot of people. They was like, how the hell is young boy learn this? Like, because these is brothers that's like 20, 40, 60 years older than me. And our Supreme Minister, Salim, Willie 30X Clayton, who's the lieutenant under Minister Jeremiah Shabazz, he's the one that made me the minister when I'm a teenager. You know what I mean? I didn't think I was ready. I was like, I'm too young, whatever, you know what I mean? But he's like, nah, bro, it's something, you know what I mean? You know, so different brothers used to just prod me and push me like, nah, man, this is something unique Allah put in your heart. He's like, I'm gonna get out your way. Go ahead. You know what I mean? And I was struggling with that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how is it that they saying that actual facts ain't real? So what I started doing was I started looking through the messenger books. And when I started going through his books, what I noticed was that Messenger Elijah Muhammad used word for word many of the 99 actual facts. So you'll read stuff like this, then you get the problem book, you get the messenger books, and you be like, oh, wait a minute. In the lessons, they teach this. But here's Master Muhammad talking about thought travels 24 billion miles per second. The planet Platoon is 4,600,000,000. The message now says around Platoon is 4,600,000,000. And the 99 actual facts, you're finding the same thing about. So it's like word for word. So it's like in my head, I'm like, if these lessons if this lesson is not true, why is the messenger quoting it for over 40 years? Why is Master Muhammad quoting it? Like, where's Master Muhammad getting this information if this information is not utilized in the early years of the Nation of Islam? You know what I mean? So it made me start researching and studying, and I went in. I went deep. I mean, and then doing the research, part of the blessing of that was, we talk about police brutality, whatever. But me and brother Assistant Minister Kareem, Troy X David, we got in a little rumble with the police. You know what I mean? We got beat bad while we was handcuffed. You know what I mean? And long story short, they was mad because I'm young, so I'm young and I'm fearless at the time. So my thing is, let me retaliate. I mean, like, you're not gonna handcuff me, beat me, and we're gonna march. We're gonna pray. I'm coming back at you. So long story short, the devil got hit all up. You know what I mean, looking raggedy. So we wind up getting an excessive force settlement. Now, I mean, not a lot. We got like $8,000, something like that. But now I got a little money. I takes my money and invest it in literature. I'm deep into literature, so now I'm like, oh man, I could get this lit. So I'm ordering all this literature. I mean, my aunt then already gave me a big giant box of ancient Jews because she was the lieutenant of the Nation of Islam under Brother Minister Jeremiah Shabazz and Messenger Elijah Muhammad in the 60s and 70s. Now, I mean, you know, so I had thousands of original ancient documents directly from her. Now, I mean, other literature from brothers from all over the place. Brothers, people don't understand. You have brothers that, I'm just using a hypothetical. Say a FOI got arrested in 1958. I mean, and he was doing life without parole. He was still in jail in the 1980s. But his thing is, the literature he had in the 50s, he still had the same literature in the 80s. Like when the nation went through transitions, like when Imam Mufti Muhammad came in, he never threw his literature away. He like, we never left the messenger. I mean, that was some street stuff. Now, I mean, a lot of these old heads was telling me, they was like, man, we was pissed when Minister Jeremiah went to New York. And I mean, it took Minister Farrakhan's mosque over and went with Imam Mufti Muhammad. They was like, they didn't go with Farrakhan or Jeremiah. They was like, a lot of brothers went crazy. A lot of brothers went back to the grave. A lot of brothers went to the church, to the Sunnah, Afrocentricity, revolutionaries, dope, whatever. And I mean, they did what they had to do under the circumstances. But me being me, you know what I mean? I'd be like, boom, bro, you know what I mean? You was in the first, I saw, brother, my name used to be such. I remember, you know, they love telling, you know, they going to exaggerate and all that, tell you all the war stories, have fun. But, you know, I'm picking it up, you know what I mean? And I'm listening, and at the same time, they got all this old literature. You know what I mean? And mathematics don't lie. So I'm looking at the literature like, yeah, that's what I'm meeting brothers that got big, giant photo albums, and you open it up, ain't no pictures in there in the technical sense. You open it up, it's volume 1, number 1 of the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. I ain't talking about a Xerox copy of Muhammad Speaks. I'm talking they got the physical volume 1, number 1 Muhammad Speaks newspaper. You turn to the next chapter, volume 1, number 2 Muhammad. They got every single Muhammad Speaks newspaper that the Nation of Islam published. To me, this is a gold mine. I got a little money. I'm like, yo, I got these packs. Let me take, you know what I mean? I need the whole volume 1. Let me get this book. And I take that joint down the joint, copy that whole joint, bring it back, get another joint. You know what I mean? And be like, yo, I got a whole bunch of literature. I'll give them some of my literature. I'll do it for you for free, bro. Just let me get a copy. I personally seen stuff like the handwritten versions of the Theology of Time notes. A lot of people ain't down with that. A lot of people heard the tapes, the cassette tapes, the albums, the videos, the DVDs, the YouTube videos, but there are old heads that got the Supreme Secretary. They got the messenger's actual, in his own handwriting, the actual notes that he's writing, scratching stuff out, changing stuff around. Now, it may just give you a deeper insight on the genius of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I mean, but in all that old literature, I came across literature that was by other branches of the Nation of Islam, specifically like the messenger's brother. The messenger had a little brother known as Khalad. I mean, Khalad. Master Muhammad made him the supreme captain. Really, 2 pictures of Master Muhammad. A lot of people don't know that. There's a picture of Master Muhammad reading the Holy Quran that he gave to Elijah Muhammad. There's another picture of Master Muhammad of him reading the Bible that he gave to the messenger brother Khalad. Now, I mean, you know, so it's a lot of mathematics the way he did it. Now, I mean, a lot of envy and jealousy was jumping off back in the day, whatever. But long story short, these splinter groups, after Master Muhammad left in 1934, you had ministers now beefing with each other. Now, I mean, you know, so Kareem Abdul-Muhammad became known as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. His original name was Kareem Abdul-Muhammad. Now, I mean, and he was the supreme minister. As for Muhammad, was known as Prophet W.D. Farr. Don Elijah Muhammad is the one that gave him the highest title of the Supreme Allah God, who came to prison, Master for Muhammad. And he's the one that they say he's changing the teachings because he took it from Allah's temples of Islam and changed it into Muhammad's temples of Islam. And that whole history, say you have different ministers with different branches. Over here, in this branch, they got 99 actual facts. Over here, they got 99 actual facts. Over here, they got 99 actual facts. Over here, they got 99 actual facts and actual facts. Over here, they got 99 actual facts and 20 actual facts. So I'm just looking at all this ancient literature, like, and the pieces is making sense, like, okay. Now, I mean, so understanding the niyat or the intent of the first, last, and only messenger is making sense to me, because basically what you have is, if you have the 1930s, 1940 believers, most of them are not educated in the college sense, studying calculus and high mathematics. So imagine in the 30s trying to, let me put it in this day and time. It's 2023. If you go to 100 believers, FOIs, MGTs, college graduates, uneducated, rich, poor, makes no difference. If you went to 100 FOIs in 2023, you'll notice that I'm talking about 100 FOIs and MGTs that's registered Muslims that been in the Nation Islam, say, let's put a number, let's say for at least 10 years. 100 FOIs and MGTs in 2023 that been in Nation Islam for at least 10 years. At least 85% of them would explain to you, I simply do not understand the problem book. I don't know the problem. Like, I had access, I seen it, I heard it, but no, I didn't answer it. No, I didn't study it like that. Know what I mean? You know, and that's not saying nothing about the believers in this day and time, but what it does is it puts it in this proper perspective, if you will. Now, imagine going back in the 1938, and you're in Detroit, Michigan, and Chicago, Illinois. You got 100 FOIs and MGTs. And you're talking stuff from like 99 actual facts. It's 9 forces, balance out, equilibrium, attraction, repulsion, cohesion, the simulation. There's 9 forces. Now, I mean, you'd be like the universe, 230 continuous. That's a little too sophisticated. They like, we're more focused on trying to open up this bakery, trying to feed the children, trying to build the school. We got, you know what I mean, learn our drills, you know what I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? So the culture, the higher sciences then and now in every culture is never that important. That's like the esoterical. So that's for like the scholars and the high scribes, people that's deep into that. That's for that minority that's in any ranks. Know what I mean? So when I was studying Prince Cuba, and I read and studied other 5%ers, at the time you had a lot of what they call plus lessons, if you will, or plus degrees, depending on who you talk to. Know what I mean? But basically, to me, it was similar to an elaboration on a lesson. Know what I mean? And Prince Cuba, to his credit, he was not your average 5%er. Now, I mean, I didn't know the teachings of the 5% like that. I consider myself a 5% because of my lessons from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. But I was FOI. But I did immediately recognize that Prince Cuba was an intelligent and sincere and strong 5%er. Now, I mean, you know, it might have been too strong for some people, too intellectual for others, too out there for the culture, you know what I mean? but that's like not my business. That's not really the issue. But I respected his scholarship. Now, I mean, as a struggling student, followed Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. So in his book at the bottom, you notice it has annotation and commentary by Prince A. Cuba. So when it came to these 99 actual facts, the thing that caught my attention when he was talking about these lessons, he has there in here, look at this. I don't know if you can see the footnotes. Short version, it says, Secret Ritual of the Nation of Islam, Part 2, Section 11 by W.F. Muhammad, according to E.D. Benyon. Quote, this has been preserved as an oral tradition memorized verbatim by the pupils at the University of Islam. Only a few manuscript copies are extant. Now, this is the sociologists back in the 30s when they was calling the Nation of Islam a voodoo cult and slandering us or whatever. But even in the slander, whatever, Prince Cuba, in his footnote, he goes on to explain, quote, this secret ritual tradition was carried on through Fard's best student and first minister, Elijah Muhammad. This ritual became known as the Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1 and number 2, student enrollment, English lesson number C1, actual facts, and more actual facts. Into the early 1960s, that circulation was confined to great secrecy. No member was allowed discussion of their contents with outsiders. Now, the thing that I wanted you to, I highlighted this in yellow like 20 years ago, but basically explain the actual facts and more actual facts. Now, that's what you would call a nugget or a jewel in scholarship. Because basically what you have here is like something that to me makes more plausible sense. The messenger, with his level of education, know what I mean, he explained the theology time, different places that we really wasn't ready for certain information or what have you, know what I mean, and you know, like books like 48 Laws of Power teach you never outshine your master, know what I mean? You know, basically, Master Muhammad explained to the messenger, brother, give him a little milk before you give him meat. The messenger used to want to just go hard, go raw, and he's like, that's a little too rich for them to digest, spiritually speaking. So the messenger had to learn that lesson in his early years when he first met the Savior. And just understanding the mathematics of it, it mathematically made sense to me as a minister of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings that you would have what Prince Cuba is calling actual facts and more actual facts. I'm focusing on the more actual facts because the actual facts that's used by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Salis Muhammad, and other members of the Nation of Islam, the actual facts are unique because they stand out because for some unique, strange, odd reason, that lesson doesn't have no numbers. Now, Messenger Elijah Muhammad is the type, there would be numbers on them actual facts. It's 20 actual facts, so it'll be like 20 actual facts. You're actually seeing some branches of the Nation of Islam that call it the 20 actual facts, you know what I mean? But when I was doing my elaborations and research and looking at ancient manuscripts, ancient lessons, and all, it made sense like, oh, okay. You can't have a lesson called 20 actual facts if there's more actual facts. Because if you got 20 actual facts, you call it 20 actual facts. You're like, what's actual fact number 12? What's actual fact number 18? But if you got 99 actual facts, number 18 to 20 would be different in the 99 from it is in the 1 to 20. So to simplify that and not to change the Savior's teachings, if you call it just the actual facts and you're just reciting your actual facts, hey, no harm, no foul. But on a scholarly level, you get them 99 actual facts. Now you be like, this, I mean, what's the 99th actual fact? The sun is 108 times larger than the earth. Now, I mean, and when you do the math, you be like, well, it's, Our Earth is 24,896 miles in circumference. The sun is 2,679,785 miles in circumference. And you do the math, you'd be like, the Earth physically is 108 times smaller than the sun. And Masfar Muhammad in the actual facts is saying the sun is 108 times larger than the Earth. If he's saying that light travels through a vacuum 186,000 miles per second, is 93 million miles away from the planet Earth, 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. And you do the math, you'd be like, okay, well, Masfar Muhammad said it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds, or exactly 500 seconds, for sunlight to reach the melanin on a black man's body, or the body temple, or Allah's temple. The math don't lie. It all adds up. So in the elaboration of Allah's lessons, I give you those formulas. I show you that this is true. The moon, what makes rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, the planet Pluto, life on Mars, the origin of how the quantum physics operate. Now, I mean, you know, the human brain, the Caucasian brain, our layers of skin, our bones, whatever. Now, I mean, the actual facts teach you about you. Now, I mean, so these actual factors, these 9 forces, attraction, the traction, like the book, The Law of Attraction, if you will, it's not just a physical law. It's a physics. I would say it's a mental and material law that governs everything. Every physical law has a mental law. Every mental law has a physical law. All right. So the law of attraction, like ideas and like atomic particles, repel each other if they're alikes. But if they're opposite, if you have truth and falsehood, there's an attraction there. If you have black and white, there's an attraction there. Male and female, there's life and death, light and darkness. Know what I mean? Protons and electron. That law of attraction is just a mathematical haq, or reality in our universe. That second law, after attraction, repulsion. Basically, like charges. Now, I mean, like what would repel these atoms? What repel these ideas? Now, I mean, you know, lies repel lies. Truth repels truth. You see? So if you take a positive magnet and another positive magnet and you put them together, they're going to push apart. It's going to be the law of repulsion. In a physical or mental world or mental realm, that law exists universally. I mean, cohesion, the intermolecular cohesion. I mean, that attractive force. I mean, it's more like, how can we bring about unity in the universe? Now, I mean, we could do it mentally and physically. The universe, if it wasn't for the law of cohesion, we wouldn't have a universe. We just have ever-expanding atoms shooting out to wherever the unknown is. But for some mathematical reason, Mother Nature always made order out of disorder. Now, I mean, there's always balance out of chaos. There's always peace out of war. See, our universe is actually polar opposites. I mean, atoms blowing up. I mean, suns bursting, certain supernova. Life forms become extinct, and then they start all over again and become more perfected. That's how it is with the truth. That's what it is with the teachers. That's what it is with you and I. Now, I mean, then the fourth law, assimilation. Now, I mean, you know, the unseen and the seen form dominant and recessive forms of unity. Now, I mean, meaning that we have the ability to use attraction, repulsion, cohesion, and assimilation. Now, I mean, as well as the fifth law, dissemination. Now, I mean, to spread it out. We could bring it in. If we could bring about that unity, we could bring about the vision. And we know that the Nation of Islam has become divided against itself. But when we use the law of attraction, when we use the law of assimilation and cohesion, love, it's going to bring us all back together. See, right now you're looking at like we're all enemies. I mean, we're on the brink of the edge of fire. I mean, But at this vibration, we're looking like Farrakhan is over here and Silas is over there and the Father Law is over there. But the people in the future are going to be like, it's only one Nation of Islam. There's only one black man. And in the essence of that one man is the womb man and all the other men, the brown, the yellow, the red, everything, everyone has its origin in the original man that we call the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the entire universe. Then we have the power of creation. So that power, creation, physicists would call it nuclear fusion, but it's a mental law as well as a physical. They look just, it's not just physical, it's not just about sparking that first atom, but first sparking that first idea. And that's, you'd be like, let's take you past what we call day minus one, before time, before what we call space time. There's no space, there's no time, there's no length, weight, dimension, none of that. There's nothing but the black man's mind. And that's how you start. You ain't got no money, you ain't got no lights, you ain't got no numbers, you ain't got no nation, you ain't got no guns, you ain't got nothing. Why? You don't need nothing. All you need is you. And you reflecting within yourself can project or take that seventh law, the projection, prophecy, using mathematical little ideas. They come together, beep, 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 and you're taking those little tiny ideas, and those mental little ideas is projected, and they going out, and they going around our universe, 24 billion miles per second. But at the same time, in that lowest vibration, they on a material plane, these little tiny quarks, these little photons, these little baby atoms, they ain't doing nothing yet. It's something, but it's doing nothing. So we consider it nothing at this stage. This is just like what we would call the ether, if you will. But as time goes on, it becomes more complex, becomes more heavier, it gets deeper, it gets greater later, as we say in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Then that eighth law of reception. So we have attraction, repulsion, cohesion, assimilation, dissimulation, creation, projection, reception. Can you receive this? I know you can hear it, but are you willing to listen to it? Because if you listen to it, the vibration is not like we really think. Like it's actually not, we say like sound waves, but it's really not a wave or like the string theory, all these European constructs and concepts that it's really no way you could actually describe nor explain who and what the original man is and how the original man operates. It's amongst the conscious, it's more like this. To express it in the physical form, I would simply say what's understood don't have to be explained. That's just the basic way of doing it. So the reception, how they say a wet reception, it's like an appreciation. It's a receiving, it's an acceptance, it's a worship. There's a faith, it's a belief in the seen and the unseen. Not in the spooky, but the belief in the physical atom that's seen and the unseen energy that manifests as that atom. All right. And the ninth law is the intuition. The intuition of physics, if you will. Meaning that you can make natural predictions by multiplying your ideas. Your cause and effect, understanding your previous experiences in the universe, which is without limit. You're in a position where you just be like, how did you know that? You'd be like, I know because I know. You'd be like, how do you know? I know because I'm humble enough to know I don't know. And that humility in the universe is like, your wish is my command. You now know. You see, it's nothing spooky when you live in peace and harmony with the universal order of things. When you accept you as you, not your higher self, but your higher self, God, and your lowest self, Satan. Your righteous self, the angel, and your wicked self, the demon. You don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. But you don't negate either force because you understand one can't exist without the other, family. It gets greater later. The struggle continues. As-salamu alaykum. Peace.